Okay, it's actually a Monday. It was basically due to circumstances, i.e. Ollie being romantic. We decided to play this on Monday as it's my week off work. So
just want to point out any romance isn't pointed at sight.
yeah, it fucking better not be. No, so yeah, unfortunately, I was left here on my Todd to swelter in temperatures approaching the surface of the sun, while Ollie was left in temperatures approaching the surface of the sun with his girlfriend. So yeah, but yes. So now on a Monday afternoon, slightly cooler, we're getting a game in, and as you can see, there are some rats, but they are not proxied as high elves for once. As in fact, they are.
Are they proxied as high?
They're proxied as Skaven. So yeah, I got my book through. The guy I bought it from sent it nice and quick, and I've been refreshing my memory with how awesome Skaven are. So yeah, I'll run you through my list. It's we're playing a 3,000 point battle line, and it will be Skaven versus Orcs and Goblins. So first off, I have a rat dart, 5 giant rats, and a packmaster. I have a unit of 50 Skaven slaves with a level 1 caster warlock engineer with the warp energy condenser. Excuse me. I then have a unit of 40 storm vermin with full command group and a rattling gun weapon team. I have a plague claw catapult. These things just never work for me. Everyone says that taking 2 in a list is beardy. Not us, because I don't think I've ever killed anything with one of these. So I'm going to go for a plague claw catapult because I've probably got a bit better chance of doing something with it. I have a doom wheel, and then I have hell pit abomination. I have another unit of 40 storm vermin with a rattling gun. I have another plague claw catapult. In this unit, I've basically put all my eggs and some volleys in one basket. As I basically have my BSB, a chieftain, my Greyseer, and my warlord, all in the same unit. But yeah, they're only rats, so if they all die, yeah, it's not that bad. Then I have a unit of 35 plague monks with pushing along a plague furnace with level 1 plague priest armed with flail, and over here I have another 50 Skaven slaves with a warlock engineer. As you can see, he's sporting some kind of rocket of doom, and then I've got another rat dart over here, and yeah, that's my army. It's been a while since I played Skaven, so it should be good fun, and yeah, we'll go on to what Ollie has taken.
Okay, as I'd never played Skaven before with my Orcs and Goblins, I decided to take the well, what I consider the best list. Well, you know, a lot of the good units anyway. Whether it's the best list is another matter. So we have 5 Goblin Wolf Riders, a Rock Lobber, 6 Trolls, 20 Squigs with 10 Handlers, a Doom Diver, a single Troll, 40 Black Orcs, which are in here. They have the War Boss, he's obviously my general. We've got 48 Night Goblins with 2 big bosses with great weapons, 38 Savage Orcs with my level 4, and the BSB is a Black Orc. Got another Rock Lobber, a Chariot, the Orc Chariot that is, 5 Wolf Riders, and this is actually a Doom Diver. Don't like using proxies, but that one's actually in the post, it just hasn't got it yet, so I actually have the model, hopefully. Assuming Royal Mail can deliver it to me. And that's it. So yeah, so we rolled to see who went first. Even though I finished deploying first, I actually won the roll. So we've just got to do like Vanguard moves, and then it'll be Sai's turn. So we'll see you at the end of Skaven turn 1.
Okay, it's the end of Skaven turn 1. Everyone moved up, as you can see. No charges. We went straight into the magic phase, where I got 2 channels. I then managed to wound my guy, casting warp lightning. I don't think he's ever managed to cast it. He's always rolled a 1 in a vast number of games that we've ever played with him. Well, so I managed to get poison attacks on the plague monks, and then Ollie dispelled my plague attempt. And that was it, basically. Then in the shooting phase, the Doom Rocket crashed down on the head of one of the savages in the front rank. I wounded 13 guys. Hit 13 guys, including the level 4 shaman. However, I failed to wound him, and then I wounded, got 9 wounds, and Ollie got ridiculously lucky and managed to save 6. So, yeah, I managed to kill 3. And then the Plague Claw Catapult, this one, shot, direct hit, ended up killing 5 guys out of the squig unit. Then the other one hit, but it unfortunately misfired and blew up in typical Skaven fashion. So that was the end of my magic phase, and yeah, that's pretty much that. So that was the end of my shooting phase. There was no close combat, so it's now on to Orcs and Goblins turn 1.
Okay, it's the end of Orcs and Goblins turn 1, and mixed success. So first up, I failed an animosity with the Wolf Riders, and they charged his Rat Dart, which is unfortunate. I was hoping to use them as a redirector on the Plague Furnace. So instead it looks like I'm going to have to sacrifice my Chariot just to get in their way. Everyone else passed their animosity. The Goblins marched up. The Savages passed their Frenzy and just stayed where they were. They moved backward slightly. Troll passed his Stupidity, moved up to redirect the Storm Vermin. These ones failed their Stupidity and just stumbled forward. These guys just moved up to threaten his flank. Then the magic phase. Yeah, the magic phase had mixed success. So I attempted to cast Brain Burster on his Grey Seer. He dispelled it. And then I cast Gorkle Fix It on these guys. Unfortunately, it was irresistible, even though I only rolled 2 dice. That was with my Night Goblin. It was a 6 dice magic phase, by the way, so I got 4 and I got 6. So I threw 2 at that. Obviously, the mushroom's fine, but then got the irresistible and drained him to a level -1, so, which is unfortunate because he had Itchy Nuisance and Gorkle Fix It, which are both excellent spells. But yeah, so he didn't die, and that was the end of the magic phase. So at least that's on them for this turn, at least. Then in the shooting phase, so my 4 pieces of artillery. One missed, another one missed, for whatever reason. But one of the rock lobbers did actually hit the plague furnace, killing the plague monk and doing 3 wounds to the furnace, which I was very happy about. So, like I said to Sai, just assume that all artillery is only 25% reliable, and as long as you take 4 of them, you might actually hurt something. So that was like 400 points well spent. And that was it. So yeah, so sort of mixed emotions about the turn. It would have been nice to have a better magic phase, i.e. one that got Itchy Nuisance off, but wasn't to be. So have to see what Sai does in his turn 2.
Okay, it's the end of a particularly great turn for Skaven, but interesting nonetheless. Lots of charges this turn. The Storm Vermin charged into the Troll. The other Storm Vermin charged into the Goblins. The Plague Monks had to charge into the Chariot, mainly because I failed the leadership test. And the Skaven Slaves charged into the Wolf Riders. Oh, and the help it charged into the squeaks. Magic was mostly useless, as well weird. Well, Ollie dispelled everything. Tried to cast. Then shooting, I managed to kill was it 4 savage orcs with the plague claw catapult. What else was there? Oh yeah, this, even though it misfired, I was shooting at the trolls guys. Actually turned around and shot at these. Killed one. Then close combat. Killed the troll over here. Chased the wolf riders down over here. Wiped out the chariot, and then overran an absolutely massive 11, which is slightly annoying. But it's surprising because normally it would be just enough to put the savages in the flank, which is normally how it works for Ollie. Then yeah, over here, these guys just really, I killed the back rank of the goblins. Trouble is, with that number of not have quite enough attacks. Also lost my wizard, as he wasn't able to skit a leap out of combat. It's just these are the most, quite possibly the most nastiest thing in Ollie's army. Although actually they're not, because the squigs were the nastiest thing in the army. Having hit the help it 8 times with 7 squigs, he managed to get 8 wounds on it, surprisingly, which disgusted me. And then when squigs went wild, he then managed to get a further 3 wounds on it, which was crazy. He also managed to wipe out like 6 guys out of this unit as well, which was a bit of a shock.
On the doom wheel as well.
Oh yeah, a wound on the doom wheel.
And kill the weapon thing.
Yeah, well.
So that doom wheel was going to do that. How could do it to rats?
Yeah, it was a bit annoying. And then at the end of the go, I just ended up with 2 bases of rats. Great.
Still, you did kill the squigs.
How much were they worth?
190 points.
Not bad, I suppose.
Yeah, they cheap.
Not great for the help it. But them's the breaks.
It's still 3 points more than a full marauder with a great weapon. So it could reasonably cost it.
Yeah, basically the combats aren't particularly going great. Well, I say that. All the combats I've actually technically won. So I shouldn't complain, because Skaven never win combat.
It's still got a weird feeling. It's coming over.
Well, I suppose I'm so used to playing now like armies where you do win combat.
Yeah.
This is quite shocking. So, and because I haven't achieved exactly what I was trying to achieve with this, it feels a bit crap. But I shouldn't, because this is not bad actually. So yeah, I must admit I rolled abysmally over there. I probably should have killed twice the number of gobos, but well, wouldn't really matter in the grand scheme of things. So yeah, it's now on to Orc and Goblin turn 2.
Okay, it's the end of Orcs and Goblins turn 2, and dear God, what a turn. Okay, so, it was quite a while ago since we started this turn actually, but I chose the Savages into the flank of the Storm Vermin. The Black Orcs got out of the tower. The Trolls fell stupidity again on a 10, even though they were in range of the General, so they just stumbled forward. The Wolf Riders charged into his rattling gun, and that was pretty much it. So, and then the magic phase, I managed to cast Hand of Gork on these guys just to get them in a better position, should he try and move out my way. Where I had them positioned before, he could have moved out my line of sight, so I didn't want that, so I did that. Attempted to cast Fist of Gork but failed it, and I also cast something that you dispelled. Here we go. Then in the shooting phase between my 4 war machines, I managed to do, well, 3 of them. One hit the Doom Wheel, scattered off onto some Plague Monks and failed to wound any of them. The other one missed. One of the Doom Divers misfired and couldn't shoot this turn. The other Doom Diver managed to hit his Doom Wheel, do 2 wounds to it, so only 1 left. He rolled an out of control thing, and he managed to do the final 2 wounds to it. So yeah, so that was dead. And then in close combat, it was just this. He managed to kill some goblins. He killed one of my bosses. He issued a challenge, which I accepted with my shaman. That's with this guy with the crown of command, apparently. Just to save him. We whiffed against each other and just had a little bit of a rain dance. And then my savages tore him up and killed loads of them. And the goblins tore them up as well. Rolled a ridiculous amount of wounds.
Five wounds.
Yeah. And then he was stubborn, but unfortunately he was only stubborn 6. And he rolled an 8 for his break test, and I overrun him and killed him. So all his characters are dead, apart from that one. I think it's the only character, isn't it? You've got one in there?
No, there's guy there.
Oh, right, okay. Yes, he's got a couple of Warlock Engineers, because the Plague Priest is dead on this. So yeah, so that was nice. Bear in mind it's the end of turn 2. That's pretty aggressive. So let's see what I can do with this thing. Hopefully he can pass his frenzy test. Otherwise he might have some problems, as he's already pointed out. So I'll hand you over to Skaven turn 3.
Right, it's the end of Skaven turn 3. Quite a short turn. I just reformed these guys to face the Black Orcs. Moved the slaves up. The Plague Monks charged the Doom Diver, wiped it out, and then proceeded to fly off the board. So I'll just position them there just to show where they come on next round. Cheers, man. Magic with a write-off. And shooting I missed with the Plague Core Catapult. It misfired and went off target. Probably trying to settle some debt with the Skaven slaves over there. Yeah, that was it. So it's now on to Orcs and Goblins turn 3.
Okay, it's the end of Orcs and Goblins turn 3. Right, so I reformed the Savage Orcs, turn round. The Black Orcs charged into the Storm Vermin. The Trolls charged into the Slaves. These guys moved up. That's pretty much it. Then the Magic phase, I cast Hand of Gork on these guys. And move them up to there, just to make it harder for him to get away. I managed to cast Fist of Gork on the Shaman. I cast Here We Go, which was just enough to reach the Black Orcs, so they had rerolls to hit as well. And I cast Brainburster on this guy in here, doing a wound to him. It obviously gives them leadership, so I thought it was worth trying to kill him. And that was it for magic, so I got all my spells off. Then in the shooting phase, I managed to do 3 wounds to his Plague Claw Catapult, and then missed this guy with the Doom Diver, and the other Rock Lobber missed the Plague Claw. And then in close combat, the Trolls managed to kill the Warlock Engineer and win the combat, and the Slave Horde exploded. I managed to kill a whole Troll and do a wound to another one. Then the Black Orcs, I managed to kill 6 of them. Then obviously because of the Here We Go, I went to the double choppers to make me strength 5 because of the chopper roll as well. So I was strength 5, so I was winning on 2s and hitting on 4s with a reroll. And I killed 21 of his guys and broke him and run him down and run into this combat. So yeah, he's Skaven, he's Storm Vermin no more. So all he's got left are these guys who were yet to come on the board. They were just here. And then obviously just these slaves who are out of any leadership bubble because all the command's dead. So Yeah, so he's pretty much had it, and at this point we've decided to win the game, just because he doesn't really have a chance. Yeah, so pretty good game really. I certainly think that the Night Goblins pulled their weight, holding up his Storm Vermin unit pretty well, which will obviously allow me to get the Savages into the flank. So, when you get Savages in your flank, it's never good. So, pretty brutal. Black Orcs, a little jump out the building and then just, well, they don't really much bearing in the game, but psychological value of 40 Black Orcs jumping out of a building is pretty scary. But, well, after all said and done, the artillery did alright, Savages did alright. Obviously they got a flank charge, so it was always going to be good. Night Goblins did alright. I mean, they held him up, did a fair few wounds themselves. But ultimately the man of the match for me is the unit of Squigs, who attacked his Doomwheel, sent it packing. Then he charged me with his Hell Pit. I did 8 wounds, he saved 4 of them. Then he killed my Squigs, or the handlers, or just won the combat. Then I exploded, killed his Hell Pit, did a wound to his Doomwheel, killed a weapon team, and then obviously he only got his 2 rats back. So the Squigs are definitely man of the match for me. They took out 2 problems at once. So yeah, love those guys. So very happy with them. And yeah, just tactically I think the game went pretty well. Obviously 2 hordes on either, well, the horde in here and 1 there. These guys are always going to be able to support me. And as side prodding, I guess, they did actually have the flaming banner as well. So I was hoping to send those into the Hell Pit, should they need them. Hence why I put them in there.
Well, I knew you had the flaming banner because that's what you always put them on.
Yeah, well, you already knew that I didn't have the +1 leadership, didn't you? When the trolls failed their stupidity. Yeah. So, loser of the match is definitely this Night Goblin, who became level -1 on the first turn. Though he did still get to use his scroll, but it was earmarked for chaff after that, but I didn't need him in the end. Honourable mention is definitely the Night Goblins, who were pretty pivotal in winning this game. Yeah, so really good game actually. I haven't played the Skaven with the Orcs before. I certainly didn't go very easy on Sai. I took pretty much the best list I can think of. So I'm very happy with that. I could have taken 2 Night Goblin units, but decided not to then, go for the Squigs, and the Squigs certainly paid off. So yeah, a very enjoyable game. Certainly I think it's nice to see the Skaven out again. I think Sai's got a few thoughts on them. But certainly fun to play with the Orcs. We knew it was going to be a bit of a slap fest in the middle, and that's exactly what we got. Unfortunately, it was quite biased in favour of the Orcs, because Orcs slap harder than rats do. So yeah, so hand over to Si, see what he thinks. See what he thinks of the game, and yeah, so.
Yeah, the more books come out in 8th edition, I think the less Skaven actually have to bring to the table. This was probably one of the most disappointing games I think I played with the Skaven. It's just their sheer ability to do nothing. I mean, like, the best unit I can possibly field can do 6 wounds and take 21 in return. Yeah, I can't beat those odds. Even with the magical buff with Here We Go, obviously they were going to still put out a lot more, but, well, sorry, they would have put out a lot less. Well, not a lot less, but they're still over double the wounds. I think Skaven's problem are they don't have any high strength, any heavy hitting infantry. They have nothing. The best Skaven can get are Storm Vermin, and Storm Vermin are crap, basically. I just can't get enough attacks out of them to be any use. The only hope you have is to take quick Storm Vermin, big unit of them, and basically keep them like that, because then they're strength 5, they're weapon skill 5. But that then makes them like 11 points a model, which is ridiculous. It's far too expensive for a Skaven unit. I didn't play particularly sensibly in this game. I think I played more like a high elf than I did anything else, which was pretty stupid. As Skaven, you have to be a bit sound with your tactics, I think, to pull that off. But yeah, it was an alright game. I was disappointed. Ollie rolled like a jammy shit with the squigs.
Yeah.
Absolute jammy fucker that he was. He somehow managed to extract 8 wounds from fucking 7 squigs off of my bloody helpet, which was heftily annoying. But yeah, I kind of don't know. Skaven are, well, they used to be fun, but the trouble is that all of the, now against modern armies, all of the fun tricks that they've got now just hurt when they backfire. It's not so much you just shrug your shoulders, as in like you need to start relying on those things, and they're just too random. It's kind of almost like how Chaos Demons is with their bloody random tables. Stuff that you need to rely on to win is too random, too happenstance. The Doom Rocket, well, to be fair, the Doom Rocket did fairly well. It's just, unfortunately, Ollie was exceptionally lucky. But that didn't really have much bearing on. You know, I guessed 22, I rolled 19. Had I rolled the 22, that would have been slap bang in the middle of the unit, and would have got some pretty decent casualties. But yeah, it's pretty sore. The spell casting is always difficult for Skaven because they suffer from very short range. You got to know what to do with it, and they also suffer because you don't really know, like, I don't know, because the spells are so random in what they are and what they do. They don't conform to the standard spell templates. So, for example, Wither, anyone sensible would think it's a hex. However, the FAQ says that you can target your own units, which hex you cannot. So, how does that work?
Put it down a stupid FAQ.
Yeah. So,
you want to hit your own unit.
Yeah, it's really weird. So you kind of, I don't know. You have to be think about what the hell you're going to try and bloody do. I mean, we spent God knows how long trying to work it out because the Skaven rules just don't fit 8th edition whatsoever. And then plague is also similar. In that it's a direct damage spell, blatantly direct damage, yet you can target units in close combat. So, you know, how does that bloody work? So, yeah, after much reading of rules and discussion, we kind of settled on how it was supposed to be played. But, yeah, kind of, you know, you read... rambling on there. The ramblings of someone annoyed that his army doesn't feel as fun as it used to be. I think now Skaven are a bit dated in what they do. I think unless you roll out like the fucking Uber cheese lists, like double hell pits and all that kind of stuff, and even then, I think at 3,000 points, what we played here, Skaven suck balls because you just take more crap. Unfortunately, Skaven scale not very well.
Yeah, they scale to the limits of the leadership bubble.
Well, it's not even that. It's just you pack your army just full of more shit. And shit is always shit. I mean, you can just take more Orcs, which are brilliant. More Goblins, which have use. I can take more shit, which has very little use. So yeah, I mean, you know, in a 1,000-point army, I can make something disgusting and brilliant. But yeah, you know, at 3,000 points, I can have those same things in, but they're all of a sudden crap because now the army, the person you're playing against, has too much in his pocket to deal with what you've got. So it's a real toughie because I don't know. And I sort of start to worry. I saw how Demons of Chaos were screwed over, and I start to think, oh, what's going to bloody happen to Skaven? There's things I think Skaven need, but I don't think we're going to get them. Well, we can leave that for the Warseer wish listing. I don't know. I think as Ollie and I discussed a bit earlier, should have played a bit more defensively. Well, that's hard to do when you play against Orcs. I feel, because usually they've got better artillery than you have.
Yeah, that's true.
Ironically,
But you've got to accept you're going to lose some stuff those couple of turns, because losing some of your big stuff doesn't matter so much as thinning me out.
Yeah, but
a couple of turns to let plagues happen and stuff. You need those plagues off or something.
yeah, I don't know. I think it was cool to write them out, but I think I need to seriously go back and try and remember how I used to play them, what I did.
Yes, you haven't played them in so long. It's a new learning experience, isn't it?
And certainly playing them against more modern editions is always tougher. I haven't got any magic support. I haven't got any. I haven't got no magic support, and I've got no heavy hitting infantry. So I've not got the classics that people take. I've not got the Savage Orcs, the White Lions, the Grave Guard, the Tomb Guard, the everything that everyone else has. I mean, my heaviest hitting unit is ironically Strength 3 with rerolls to hit and wound, which is diabolical. And they can only do that once. I don't know. I shall be curious to see what they do with Skaven. Rumour has it it'll be sometime start of next year. I'll be interested to see how that goes. But I shall probably roll them out on Sunday. See how it goes. But I don't know whether they'll be coming out too much more often. The nostalgia value has kind of loses its edge when you remember how poor they are in a fight. So I'll leave us with that, and we'll see you on Sunday for another game.